Good morning, Washington. How y'all doing, everybody? It's the 10th of October, 2012. And Mitt Romney's ahead in all the polls. Oh, my God. He's going to win. He's going to win. You know, there's a thing called peaking too early. And sure, it's great to be ahead in the polls a month before the election. But the way the polls are going, and it's really amazing to see how crazy things are. One debate, and everybody's flipped places. If it happened once, it could happen again, right? So if the voters are that volatile, I would say 4 weeks is going to be a long time for Romney to hold that lead. We shall see. I got a lot of people say, "Hey, Dave, show us your cap collection." I do. I have a lot of cool caps. Look at this one. Ouch. Oh, you know what? This has got like a sharp piece of plastic. I think I cut my head there. Do you see any blood? That was. I'll have to get rid of this. I don't like that one. That hurt. That one hurt. There's my U.S. Army cap. How did I look in that one? Hey! How about my CIA cap? Ooh. And this is a cool one. I should do my show in this today. Hey, how you doing? Interesting, yesterday's paper, Washington Post. Interesting ad there for C-SPAN radio. Radio that brings you the most important political events of the day. C-SPAN radio. Washington Journal, Washington Today. They air the network Sunday talk shows. And in D.C., you can hear it on 90.1 and XM channel 119. So there. I've always said, I like C-SPAN. Don't get me wrong. I like C-SPAN a lot. I think they do a wonderful public service. They got the 3 TV channels, and they got the radio channel, which you can listen to on the web, which you can listen to on Sirius XM. And I just think, I don't know if they really, really, really need to be broadcasting on 90.1 here in Washington when it never shows up in the ratings. I can't remember when I've ever seen WCSP show up in the ratings. And if nobody's listening to it, then other than maybe some lobbyists, why not do something different with it? I'd love to see it. Washington. One of the things Washington needs, I think, really more than anything, is a cool kind of a world music, all kinds of crazy eclectic music station like Philadelphia's WXPN. University of Pennsylvania is a really cool radio station, 88.5 in Philly, not down here, that just runs a really crazy good mix of a whole bunch of music that you never hear on the radio, and a whole bunch of different stuff. And it's a wonderful community resource, and Washington really needs something like that. And it would be just so cool if somebody would do that down here in Washington. Or you could even say there's so much public radio news talk that WAMU can't put on 88.5. They have that HD3 intersection channel. Why not put that on a main broadcast facility like 90.1? I don't know. It just seems like there are so many things. You look at these stations like 90.1 or even 105.1 WAVA, Salem's religious talk station. What did it get? Like, it's at 35th place in the ratings. Nobody's listening to it. Great. Do something that someone's going to listen to, man. Yeah, that's the killer thing about 105.1, I think, that it's such a great signal. I mean, it blankets the metropolitan area. It's a wonderful signal. And people like Dan Snyder could put, get a really good signal for WTEM on there. Or CBS could buy it and put WNEW on there. There's so many commercial broadcasters that could use that signal to such better, get some ratings with it. And they probably are lusting after it. And here's old Salem running this grunky religious talk format that nobody's listening to, or very tiny. They could put that on an AM, or they could put that. I can't see why Dan Snyder just can't do some kind of a deal with Salem and say, look, Salem, I'll give you all my 3 signals. I'll give you 98, 980 WRC, the old WRC. I'll give you 980, 50,000 watt daytime signal. I'll give you 2 FMers, 92.7 and 94.3 in exchange for 105.1. Okay? Boom. Salem would get the same ratings, maybe better on 980 than it does on 105.1. I don't know why they just don't do that. And Dan Snyder would definitely, he could be beating JFK for sure on 105.1 because it's a better signal than 106.7. I don't know. Whatever. I'm sure Dan Snyder's got the money to do it, but Salem doesn't want to sell it, so that's that. The ratings came out yesterday for the first week of October. Actually, it's probably somewhere in late September. But I was going to look at the bottom of the ratings this time. We always print the top. If you want to see the top ratings, go on our website, dcrtv.com. Let's look at what's at the bottom of the ratings, shall we, for the month of October? Okay, so what is the lowest rated radio station in October in the Washington market? Okay, so, well, let's look at let's see what would be down there. Well, we got 43rd place in the Washington market, okay? 43rd place for the first week of October. And that would be a tie between, okay, we got a bunch of kind of fringe stations. POC, KIK, GRX. Okay, we got WFED in 43rd place, WBAL, WWIN. These are all in the Washington market, 43rd place. WVBX, JFK Stream, Z104.3, and WLIF. And WTNT, and WFMD, and WLTF out there in Martinsburg. They're all tied for 43rd in the Washington radio ratings. That's dead last, okay? Now, I bet you there's a bunch of stations on AM. There's a whole bunch of those funny little stations on AM that never even get in the ratings. But at least these stations made the ratings. They're all tied 43rd place. So who's tied at 40th place in the Washington radio ratings? This is the money demo, by the way, 2554. We have RBS-FM in Baltimore, GRQ, 106.5 WMMX. They're all tied for 40th place. So good for them. 33rd place, WBQH, that little Mexican station, WFLS, WKDV. That's what's it? That's that Hispanic station there in Manassas. WJYJ, Christian Contemporary out of Fredericksburg. PFW. Now PFW's not doing so hot these days. Maybe they should be the one to take on the XPN format. And WAMU's Stream, all tied for 33rd. ZBA out of Baltimore. So that's what's at the bottom of the Washington radio ratings. Let's see what's at the bottom of the Baltimore radio ratings, for October. Ooh, WJFK FM is at the bottom of the Baltimore radio ratings at 49th place. Tied with WJFK FM is that new WQLL 1370, the new that new oldie station out of Baltimore. And also tied WNST, sports talker there out of Towson, and WFED hits 49th place in Baltimore. So congratulations to the lowest ranked stations in Baltimore. Tied for 45th place, second lowest, we have WRBS FM, or AM, excuse me, FM does much better. WSTW, I believe that's out of Wilmington, isn't it? WEDA FM. So they're all tied for 45th place in Baltimore. 42nd place in Baltimore. We have Fresh FM here in Washington. Win AM. WRNR. They're all tied for 42nd place. In 40th place, we have a two-way tie in Baltimore between WTEM and WTMD. Down in 36th place in Baltimore, we have MMJ, WOLB, WGTS, JZAM 1300. So they're all tied there for 36th place. In 34th place, we have a tie between WAVA-FM and WFRE. And in 31st place, rounding out the bottom of the Baltimore radio ratings, we have WNEW. Hey! 31st place in the Baltimore market. Congratulations. They're tied with that WWMX HD2, which is that HFS 97.5. They're at in a tie for 31st place. And WLZL. WLZL. That's good. CBS is putting those signals, you know, they're 99.1, which is a Baltimore market signal, and 107.9, which is a Baltimore market signal. Even though they're oriented to the Washington market, they are Baltimore market signals, and they're both getting 31st place in the Baltimore market. So it's putting those watts to good use there. Ay, 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 ay. All right, folks, that's my Dave TV for today. So keep on listening to that C-SPAN radio. Are there any other big headlines? Big headlines coming up? Any big news? Oh, we got a nice picture of a reunion of the 2004 progressive rock jocks over there at HFS on DCRTV Plus today, so check that out. That should be cool. Olivia Fox is coming back with a new show. She's actually got a new radio/video show on the web every Tuesday, so check that out on DCR TV. We got some more information about that. And that's about it. That's all. That's it. Thanks for watching Dave TV. Don't forget to help support the website. Send us a bunch of bucks. Click on the support tab. Remember, ads only pay part of our freight. Your support is why we've been here for 15 years, just starting our 16th year. Thanks a lot, folks, for watching Dave TV. Book 'em, Dano.